Hello, my fellow Ghoul Renegade, and welcome back to a brand new video of Ghoulish Reacts. Unfortunately, today on Ghoulish Reacts is going to be a little bit more of a somber video because it was just announced yesterday that MatPat from the game Theorists is leaving YouTube. Yeah, this was totally unexpected. It's not how I expected to start off the year, especially with a really cool, cheerful video that I did, like, literally yesterday. But yeah, this was unexpected. Now, I saw this video when this video came out, and not gonna lie, I shed a tear. I ain't gonna lie. I did. It kind of made me sad. It made me bummed out. Matt has been on the internet for 13 whole years. That's how old his channel is. And he's pretty much been around for as long as I can remember on this platform, and it sucks to see him go. But I wanted to make this video because I really wanted to give out my thoughts about this whole situation. So we're going to listen to Matt here, see what he has to say, and I'll give my thoughts. I'll interject as I always do.
It's not clickbait. On March 9th, I will be hosting my last Theory episode,
Wow.
at which point I'll be handing off the channels to someone else. There it is. That's it. Send tweet. We're all done here. That's all you need to know, right? Oh, wow. Forgive me, by the way, if I'm a little bit more disorganized than usual. Normally, I would want to script out something like this pretty precisely. But with an announcement like this, I wanted to bring it back to just us. There's no one else in the room. There's no teleprompters. There's no nothing. It's just the way that this whole thing started. It's a conversation between us. And sorry that I keep getting emotional about this. I'll try not to, but it's a big deal. You know, like, if you think about it, this channel is Steph and my first child, really. Before we had Ollie, before we had Skip, Catbat, like, it was this. This was our baby. This channel has been going for 13 years. Yeah. I think in total it's somewhere around like 1,200 theories, and only half of those are FNAF. Shocking. I know, we actually did stuff that wasn't FNAF related.
Yeah, they did.
This has been a literal third of my life, and I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss this. I value what we have here.
Damn.
I value this.
Wow. He's really losing it. He's like physically crying. And I saw something on Twitter saying, like, there were some like haters of MatPat. They were saying, oh, he was fake crying through this whole. No, bro, those are genuine tears. Like, I can tell simply just by his body language and how he is conveying himself through this video. Like, there was people on Twitter, like his haters, like calling him out saying, oh, bro, he doesn't mean any of this. He's squeezing you guys for money and you guys are falling for it, and he's faking his tears. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? It's like, bro, he's being like literally genuine. Like, MatPat for years, he's like been one of the most, whether you like him or whether you don't like him, he's been one of the most honest and most genuine creators out there. And he's in line with like a lot of them who are like very much the same. And it just makes me mad that his haters like find this as a time to come out and be like, oh, he's faking this, and you guys are falling for it. It's like, no, just like be quiet, like shut up, like you don't know.
Conversation, this openness, this relationship that we share.
Yeah.
And I'm sad that I won't be able to see you every week. Which then I guess prompts the question of like, why? Why am I doing this now? Why am I making this announcement today? Why am I walking away from the channels? Well, to be honest, it was Tom Scott. You can blame Tom Scott. Tom just did his farewell video, and I'm like, well, he was able to do it. I want to be able to fly away in a helicopter. Obviously, that.
I want to be able to fly away in a helicopter. Yeah, no, I get you, Tom Scott. I don't think I've really ever heard of Tom Scott, and that's surprising because of how young I am. There's a lot of creators that a lot of people bring up that I've never heard of before. Maybe because I was just never interested in their content, and I was interested in my own thing.
That's not it. But really, my reasons for making this announcement today is probably largely the same as Tom's reasons, or Seth Everman's, or Captain Sparkles, or Papa Meats, or Stampy Longheads. Like, there's a lot of these videos that are coming out these days, and there's going to be a lot more happening throughout this year.
Yeah, that's That's one of the main questions I keep hearing about, and everyone's asking the same thing, and it's not just me, but like, why now? Like, for all the years to leave this platform, why 2024? Like, why are so many creators just leaving? Is there something happening at YouTube behind the scenes that maybe the rest of us just don't know about? And it really begs the question, like, what is going on? Like, is it maybe the money's not there anymore? Like, or is it simply just the age old thing that affects every content creator? Is it simply just burnout? Is it literally these people have made videos for so long, for so many years, dedicated so much of their life to it, and then they just become so burnt out to the point where they lost passion in it. They just don't want to do it anymore. I mean, and that's a viable theory. I'm not going to deny that. That could possibly be so much a viable theory. And I don't think it's because the money's not there either. I mean, of course it's there. It's always been there. But, corporations, they get more greedy as time goes on. So, and they're always going to take more from us than what we pump out and provide. So, and obviously you can tell I'm a little biased towards corporations because I have a little bit of a reason for that. I do. I have a smidgen of a reason for that. Why I have a kind of a bias against corporations. It's not because of just what you see on the news or stories or whatever. It's because of something personal that happened to me that involved said corporation. And I'm going to explain that in my housing video, as I mentioned in my last video. So stay tuned for that. It's one heck of a story.
Steph and I have known this video would be coming for the last 3 years. We weren't sure it was necessarily going to be today. We didn't know exactly when it would fall, but we knew it was going to happen eventually. That's why over the last couple of years we've been staffing up so much. That's why we partnered with a larger company to help run the channels. That's why we've been spending so much time outside of this box training up the team to make the best videos that they can.
Yeah. And a lot of people were saying, I heard rumors, because that's usually what you always hear. You always hear rumors of why MatPat was staffing up so much. A lot of people were saying that he's just selling out at this point. It's like, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that's the main reason for all of this happening. What I'm thinking is really happening, and Matt's probably going to confirm this, but what I'm thinking is the reason why Matt is staffing up so much is that he's training these people. He's training them up to be his what's the word? It's not prodigy, but his oh crap, man, I lost the word. I know it. Like, it's right there in the back of my head, but I can't say it. His it's right there, guys. It's right there. I swear it is. He's training them up to be his, the person he's carrying everything over to is a freaking, oh my lord, I hate this. I hate this when there's a word in the back of my mind, but I can't say it. And it's not that I'm nervous to say it, because it's an ordinary word. It's just, I can't, hold on, give me a second. Okay, sorry I had to pause the video for that. I had to genuinely think about it. Successor, that is the word I was looking for. He's training these people up to be his successors, so then they can do exactly what he does, and he can just kind of step back and, I guess you say, rake in the money? I don't know.
Because we knew that we couldn't do this forever. We knew that, honestly, we didn't want to do this forever. For as much as I love you, and I love overthinking things, and I love theorizing, I don't love late nights. I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade, where I'm sitting down at dinner with my best friend and we're talking about business logistics, or we're talking about animatronic toes. I miss the days where I could just sit down on the couch with her and play video games, and it's not for content, or I'm playing a game and I'm not thinking about what theories are going to come out of that. I miss it. So that's a big reason. That was a big one right there.
And I totally get that. Like, what everything he just said in that small little section means so much. And I understand every single word that he just said. And on my own little perspective of that is the reason why I understand what he's saying, and the reason why I get it, how he's saying it, is essentially that's what YouTube is for a lot of people, me included. Doing YouTube, whether it be for fun, whether you're in it for the money, whether you're not in it for the money, but doing it, committing to it, it becomes a double life. And sometimes that double life takes away a lot more than what you might expect to. You can expect losing time with your family. You can expect losing personal time, like doing the things that really make you happy, losing your life even because of doing it for so long. And I get that because it makes sense. And it's a double life for a lot of people. But for me, I don't necessarily see it as a double life. I just like to do it for fun as a hobby because there's times where I post a video and then I'm gone for like 3 to 4 weeks and you guys are like, when are you gonna post another video, man? You're leaving me hanging. We're dry over here. And I get that. I get that side of the spectrum too, because just like everybody else who doesn't do content creation, when I didn't used to do it, I get that because I was on the other side of the screen. I was that person. I'm still that person. And I was like waking up in the mornings and watching my favorite creators and, doing my own thing and having a good day, listening to my music, doing my own thing. But I get it. I understand exactly what he's saying. It's tedious. It becomes tedious after a while. And that's where the burnout comes in because of the tedium, because of the grind, sacrificing pretty much your life to just push out content and not ever having any spare time to do what you really want to do, pursue hobbies, pursue interests, and overall in general, just live your life. Now, it's easier for someone like me in a way because not only am I an artist, but I'm also a writer. And when both of those are mixed together, artists and writers are known for reclusiveness. They're used to being alone. But it depends on how you handle that. So for me in my personal situation, it's easy for me to do something like this because I'm used to the loneliness. I'm used to the solitude. Because I'm an artist and I'm also a writer and doing this as well. And I like to play video games. I'm used to it. It's something that's just I've gotten used to over the years.
But also just the internet's changing. My life has changed in the last 13 years. Mm-hmm. I mentioned Dolly before. He's the coolest little dude, and he's getting older by the minute. And I watch him, and he has so much fun, and he is so much smarter than I was when I was his age. He also probably knows the FNAF lore better than I do, which is a problem that I should probably address at some point. But honestly,
Nah, bro. Go full force with it. He's going to grow up to be you. And I think that's another big reason that he's talking about here is that family reasons. Like, he's not getting to spend enough time with his kid. And he's a father. I understand that. I get that. And I could get that from my dad's perspective too, that maybe he doesn't spend enough time with me doing, me doing this. But actually, and ironically, in real life, we spend a lot of time together, like every day. It's always me and him. Because my mom usually works, and it's just me and him. We hang out all day long. So my dad never has to worry about losing time with me because I want to make my videos. So, hey, it's a win-win for everybody.
I want to be able to spend more time with him.
Yep,
Another sad fact of the matter is I'm getting older. I'm 37 now.
Fair enough.
The other day, I actually had to Google my own age. And you know that when you have to start like doing math in your head to calculate how old you are, you are over the hill, my friends. Though to be fair, to my credit, I think I'm like the only 37-year-old out there who has an unironic appreciation of Skibbity Toilet. Then again, maybe that's the problem, right? Like, maybe that's not a good thing. And honestly, because this is all about us being honest, there is a bit of a selfish side to this. When you think about it, there's only...
You know what? Since he brought up the Skibbity Toilet thing, I did want to react to that, but I decided not to, just because I didn't really find it interesting. Like, I saw the memes, I saw the videos, but it just wasn't something for me, you know?
Really two ways to step away from a YouTube channel. You either just decide the day that you stop uploading and you're like, I'm done, or you just keep uploading videos from now until the heat death of the universe, and you watch as your relevance slowly dies or your passion slowly dies. And for me and my journey in this place, I always wanted to go out on a high note. And when you stop and look at the last year, this has been the best year in the Theorist lifespan ever. Like, no joke. It is our highest view year. It is the year where we launched Style Theory and immediately put our foothold in a brand new space, and that took off, and now we're one of the top style and fashion channels on YouTube. And that kind of completes the trifecta of, hey, we now have a top channel in 4 different verticals that are completely different. And
yeah, look, like I've said before, whether you hate or love MatPat, you cannot deny this man's work ethic. You cannot deny all of the hard work that he's put in for the last 13 years to make this possible. Like, and it's amazing. His work ethic is inspiring. Like, someone like me could only want to dream to be on his level of work ethic. Like, now I try to do my best in everything that I possibly do in my own way, because everybody's different. You can't always expect to have the same work ethic as someone like MatPat, but it's just, whether you love him or you hate him, you can't deny how hard he's worked to get to where he is and to get how far he's come. And that's one of the things I truly believe in. I believe if you put in the hard work, you put in the effort, you will succeed. You're not going to succeed by just lazily putting something together and then just calling it a day and expecting that to go on forever. No, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the effort. You have to have the drive to do it. And yeah, I guess that's where my personal beliefs end. I guess right there.
No other YouTuber really has ever been able to do it to that scale. That's amazing.
True.
This is also the year where I was able to meet you guys at our Broadway show. I was able to play at the PGA and show that, hey, YouTubers aren't particularly good at golf, but they can make your event relevant for like a couple of minutes. It was also the year that I got to host the Streamy Awards, and it wasn't cringe. I mean, to be fair, the Streamy Awards are always a little bit cringe, but it was the right amount of cringe. When I pull up videos of all my favorite creators, and I watch them, and all of a sudden I start hearing people just casually dropping, "That's just a theory."
It's just a theory, a game theory.
Now, this is just a theory, people.
At the end of the day, it's just a game theory.
That's just a theory. A Freebirds theory.
Also a lot of lore, so if you're a big theory head, proceed at your own risk.
I did not know about this theory.
That's a theory.
That's a theory.
That right there, that is incredible.
I love that last clip with Wendigoon and Meat Canyon. Also, the one with Charlie is pretty goated as well. If you guys have never watched Wendigoon or Meat Canyon or Moist Critical, you guys should go sub to their channels. They're all awesome guys. Actually, on the topic of Wendigoon, I heard Wendigoon almost got canceled, or someone tried to cancel him because he believes in God because he was a Christian. It was something like that. And I was like, what? Really? You're canceling him because of his personal beliefs? And people were offended, like, how the way he believes things. It's like, what? And I looked, like, and I've seen the things, like, where he talks about his, like, personal beliefs and stuff like that. And really, it's not all that offensive to me. I mean, I just don't know why people are freaking out about it. Like, I didn't find it offensive, like, the way he believes things. Like, I found it pretty, like, sane and rational, but everyone was like, oh, this man's insane. He needs to be locked up. He needs to be put away forever. But I think most of these rantings are just, like, coming from his haters and those dudes who wear the freaking conspiracy tinfoil hats on their head and, like, everything's a conspiracy. Nothing is real. Like, I mean, sure, conspiracies are interesting when they need to be or when they want to be, but, like, if you're just going to use it to spread hate, then, like, what's the point?
That's the note that I want to leave on. And that's how you just know it's the right time. All of those reasons coming together, saying, hey, this is the moment. And that's hard to say, because change is scary. Change is hard. Mm-hmm. But sometimes the right decision isn't the easy decision.
True.
The easy decision would just be to carry on doing this and do FNAF part 332.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be the right decision.
No.
I think the best way to explain it is with a video game analogy. Feels appropriate, right? Whoa, it's game theory. Ha!
Yeah.
Did it. Check the game part of it off. But the way I like to think about it is Earthbound. I think I've made it pretty clear over the years that that is, without question, my favorite game of all time.
Fair
Sans Nest, all that. You're all familiar with it.
I've never actually played Earthbound. Would you guys want me to play Earthbound for the channel? Or write a comment down in the comment section below. See if you guys actually want me to play Earthbound. Because I heard it has horror elements in it, and I've actually never played it. Maybe we can get an emulator and we can play Earthbound.
But what you might not be familiar with at this point is how the game ends. At the end of Earthbound, after you save the world, everything opens up to you. You can revisit every single location that you've been to. You can talk to every NPC that you met on your journey. And it's this incredible moment as a gamer. You see just how many lives have been impacted thanks to your journey. And then after spending as much time as you want talking to all those people, you end up back home. You go back to where it all began, where you were just a kid waking up in bed and starting your adventure. And even though your mom's there and your dog's there and your weird telephone dad's there, it feels different somehow. Like, sure, this is still a place of love and acceptance and comfort and security, but you just don't quite fit anymore. Because you just traveled the world. You made all these new friends. You are different. You grew up. And your relationship to this place grows up. It evolves.
Yeah.
In case you couldn't tell, I'm Ness, which I guess would also mean that I'm also Sans. But I was also Ness in the FNAF movie, which just opens up all sorts of weird canon. Slap a thumbnail on that one. So anyway, there you have it. That is why I'm leaving. I hope you can understand. But that obviously begs the question of, like, what happens to the channels? Well, for the next 10 weeks, we're going to have ourselves a big old going away party. If Unis Annus taught us anything, it taught us that you probably shouldn't use urine for a personal sauna. But if Unis Annus taught us two things, one was to not soak in your own urine, but two was to appreciate the time that you have left. So that's why over the next 10 weeks, we're going to have a bunch of theories that are going to be a lot of fun, revisiting old favorites, getting some closure on things. We're going to see some familiar faces, a lot of awesome stuff. Although to be fair, I think it's 9 weeks, and I think we counted this one as week 1. That was stupid of us. That, my friends, is how you wind up getting Wario being 10 feet tall. Mathematical rigor. Should have double-checked the numbers. So I have 9 theories left on each of the channels, but we're going to call them Matt Pat's Final 10 because that just sounds better. At which point then on March 9th, we're going to have that big going away celebration, Matt Pat's Final Theory, and I just dust away. I stand astride my Music Man and I just whip a nay-nay off into the distance. But then something special happens. Do the channels go away with me? No, actually. I've always thought that anyone can be a theorist, right? If you are passionate about a topic and you love to overthink it and over-research it, then congratulations, you're a theorist. And that could range from, hey, I have family recipes that I'm constantly looking to refine, to, hey, I want to create the perfect fantasy sports team. Because here's the thing, sports pros, at the end of the day, if you are in the statistics and numbers and doing calculations to see if your team won or lost, you're just playing a glorified Dungeons and Dragons game.
That is true. I was never into the fantasy sports thing. I mean, I like to watch sports, but I never got into like the which player is gonna increase my chance of winning, like betting on sports. I never really got into that. I thought it was just kind of and I don't like math for 2, so I'm a theorist, but without doing math.
Break it to you, you're one of us, my friends. and sure, game theory is a format that I created. It's a show with this very excitable host who makes a lot of cringy dad jokes and says the word lore a lot. But at the end of the day, it's more than just the host. It is a show. It is a format. And in a broader sense, it is a state of mind. It's a way of thinking and approaching the world around you. It's more than just the host. And when you think about it, not a lot of YouTube channels function that way.
True.
We're special in that regard. Like, you're not going to be able to get another...
It's kind of like, I got a really good example of this. It's kind of like how Jesse Ridgway, or otherwise known as McJuggernuggets, it's how he first came onto the platform and realized that not a lot of people were doing storytelling content on YouTube. So thus he created the Psycho series, a story to fuel storytelling content on this platform, and it got huge. It became big. And it's kind of the same thing like what Matt did. Not many people were analyzing video games, talking about learning things through video games, how video games actually teach you things. And Matt was one of those. Matt was essentially like a McJuggernuggets. He was essentially like Jesse Ridgway, where he created an entire format to make a full-blown new genre on this platform. And it's crazy.
Markiplier stepping into the Markiplier channel, and you're never going to be able to recreate Jenna Marbles.
No.
And to be honest, you're never going to get another Matt Pat either.
Fair enough.
You can have another game theorist. You can have another film theorist or food theorist or style theorist. I think in a lot of ways, we almost function kind of like the Doctor Who of YouTube, where as one host fades away, a new one kind of respawns in their place. And they're able to put their own unique spin and flavor on the format and make it their unique thing. You have eras of the different theorist channels. And so, you know, my era is fading away and someone new is coming in. Maybe this is the David Tennant to Matt Smith transition, right? good, solid series of episodes right there. So who then is going to be taking over the channel?
Yeah, I want to know.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but fewer and fewer of the words that I'm saying in any given episode are actually mine. If you go down to the credits, you can actually see in the description that there are certain names that have been appearing more and more frequently. Like, yeah, I'm listed on every single one as the writer because I touch every single script, I polish it into my voice, but in all honesty, the bulk of what I'm saying is coming from someone else. It's their research, it's their work. Why should they have to filter their creativity through my...
That actually makes a lot more sense. Because there's still a lot of people on the internet who believe like Matt, because, I mean, I knew he had a team. I know he has a team. For anyone who's been following game theory for a long time knows he has a team of people behind him now. But many years ago he didn't. But I actually kind of understand now why a lot of people like go off the handle when he says some like outrageous theory and they think he's the one who solely wrote it. Maybe we should actually be looking to the people behind the scenes of some of these outrageous theories that, you know, they call Matt out on. Because if you know that now that puts everything into perspective. So if there was an episode of Game Theory that you just genuinely hated, maybe you might want to check who wrote that episode. Because, as Matt just now admitted himself, he's saying less and less of the words. It's someone else's research. It's not specifically his own. I mean, I'm sure he does his own thing. But it's not all just him anymore. And that really puts things into perspective now that I think about it.
My voice. I've always envisioned these channels as a place where we could spotlight all sorts of creators. I mean, it even goes back to the original URL of this channel, right? It isn't Game Theory. It was always the Game Theorists, because this was a place where you could find a lot of like-minded creators, all with a passion for gaming and education. That's why we had the partner shows like Gaijin Goomba with Culture Shock, or Drake with Smash History, or Ryder with A Brief History, or Austin with The Science.
Austin with the Science. I remember Austin. At first, when the Science came out, I didn't like Austin. When I first started watching Game Theory, I did not like Austin at all. He was like my least favorite co-host for this. And I had my own reasons why I didn't like him. At first, I thought he was annoying, for one, and I really just hated his voice. When I was younger, I just didn't like his voice, and I thought he was just like the most annoying dude on the platform. But as I got older, and as I kept watching Game Theory, I actually kind of... My heart kind of came a little softened to them, so I actually started liking his stuff more. And once I actually watched a lot of his videos, I kind of realized how really intelligent he was. And it was shocking that I didn't like him at first, because science was honestly one of my favorite subjects in school. But I guess it was just his voice that really threw me off, and just the tone of it that just kind of drew me away. But, you know, as I got older, I kind of softened up, and I actually really started to like it. And then it sucked when his show actually ended. I was like, oh, come on, they canceled Austin from the Science? I was actually kind of shocked, but, you know, things change, things come and go.
And Lee with the Breakdown. They were all here because we all had a similar goal, to educate people through the lens of gaming. And then YouTube pivoted and then made it so that way doing a channel in that style doesn't really work anymore. But we still tried to keep that ethos alive by making sure that we're regularly covering small indie projects. Stuff like OnlyCans, like Mandela Catalog, like OWO. OWO? See? I learned. But if we're doing that for all these other creators, why aren't we doing it for the creators on our own staff who have been in the trenches doing the research, writing these words to deliver to you over the last couple years? You'll find it here. Doing the research, writing these words to deliver to you over the last couple years. I have been fortunate. I have been so blessed to have this platform available to me that you've given me over the last 13 years. But I think now it's time to pass it on to the next generation. It's time to give someone else a shot. But I realize that I'm getting off track here. So back to the question, who's taken over? First off, it's not going to one person, but rather 4. I would not wish my schedule on anyone. Like, sure, I'm willing to not sleep for the last 13 years of my life, but I feel like as old man YouTube passing this along to the next generation, I should probably do my best to try and make it more sustainable for them. It's also going to people that you're already familiar with. You've seen them showing up in shorts. You've seen them here on the couch with me for GT Live. Yeah. You've sometimes seen them washing their hair with me in my own shower. Don't read too much into that, but it is accurate. Most importantly, though, they're each an expert in their own individual subject matter, and they've been spearheading the creative of the channels for the better part of the last year. And I think what's maybe the most fascinating about all of this is that each of the 4 of them come to us from a completely different angle. You know, so for instance, you have Lee, right? Lee's gonna be taking over film theory. Lee has been with us for 10 years.
Wow.
10 years. It's crazy. I believe He was actually editor number 3 for the channels. We had Ronnie, and then we had Ryder, Foot of a Ferret, and then we had Lee. I think his first theory that he ever worked on was Rosalina's Peach's daughter, Peach is Dead, one of my all-time favorite episodes that we've ever done on the channel. And over time, he rose up. He had his own show on the channel here. He had Breakdown, which were these just beautiful documentaries that were edited in such an incredible way. And since then, he's been spearheading a lot of the creative on both the writing and the visual side. And then, of course, you have Amy over on Style Theory. And Amy is actually a very different case here. When she first approached us, I think it was 6 years ago, she didn't know about the channels. All she knew was that she wanted to learn everything that she could about digital video, and that Theorist was kind of the place that you went to learn that stuff. Like, we were the best when it comes to analytics and optimization and programming and things like that. She got in and she just devoured everything that we threw at her. So much so that she eventually got to the point where she was so good that she was consulting the largest mobile game company in the world based off of the stuff that we were working on here in studio.
Wow, that is amazing, to going from just being regular old you, nothing, to like consulting a giant corporation of the biggest mobile games. That's insane. Wow. That was all because of what Matt taught her? Dang. Man, where are these places when I need them? Seriously.
It's incredible. And all of that while being responsible for packaging somewhere around like 500 episodes across all the channels. And then she helped me and Steph brainstorm Style Theory for 2 years before the channel eventually launched, hoping that maybe one day she would be able to rise into the hosting role for it. And now here it is. And then, of course, you have Santi and Tom. Santi over on Food Theory and Tom over here on Game Theory.
I've seen the first 3. I've seen Lee, I've seen Amy, and I've seen Tom. I have not seen anything about Santi. He's new to me, but I think I'm going to get used to it.
And interestingly enough, they both grew up watching Game Theory. We were their childhood show, which, to be fair, just shows how old we are. Santi would eventually go work at Mythical with Rhett and Link before coming here, where he is bravely spearheading Food Theory and letting me mercilessly make fun of all of his recipes. He's much better than I give him credit for. I just like giving him a hard time. And then Tom, he worked at Disney and Fox, but he knew all along that he wanted to be here, right? Like, this was his aspirational goal. He wanted to write here. He emailed us a cold email outreach. We just miraculously saw it, decided to audition him, and he crushed it. His first episode that he worked on was actually watching every single installment of the Pokemon anime to calculate Pikachu's level. And to be fair, that was his pitch. Like, I have asked people to do some crazy things in the past, but not even I'm that brutal. Like, you can only watch Team Rocket blast off so many times, but he's like, this is an episode I'm passionate about. I think I'm going to knock it out of the ballpark, and I'm going to show you how committed I am. And he has been so committed ever since. So committed.
Dang, wow, man was setting a goal for himself. He's like, I'm going to mercilessly watch every single episode of Pokemon to calculate the charge of Pikachu. that's dedication. That's some serious dedication right there.
In fact, that I told him, hey, if you're joining the channels, you do realize that you're going to have to read every single FNAF book. And he's like, boom, he did it. And we're up here going crazy in the FNAF attic. But not only did he read every FNAF novel, he also read every single Hello Neighbor book. Yeah.
Wow.
He went that far. Currently, he's working his way through Bendy because the new movie's coming up. If nothing else, I think that really proves his level of commitment and also his...
Oh, yeah, that was a giant announcement, too. The Bendy movie is coming out. Yeah, we're going to get a movie based on Bendy and the Ink Machine. So I think that's pretty cool.
Appropriate level of insanity. He's a bit off the cuff at times. Like, I don't know if you saw on a recent GT Live, but Tom was here on the couch with me, and he actually denied that the moon existed, which was a choice.
Main character
Excuse
from
me?
the chat says, that sounds like somebody who doesn't have a flag on the moon.
I mean, that's if you believe it's even there.
The moon?
I don't think he actually believes that, but if he does, we're going to get some weird Majora's
Majora's Mask, it doesn't exist. Oh my goodness. That's great. I love that. It doesn't exist. Oh, you heard it here, folks. Moon, it doesn't exist. It's not there.
Mask theories, let me tell you. When I go out at this point, I am recognized at least 5 times It's crazy.
That's cool.
It's a really high number at this point. And it's a fascinating split because 50% of the time it's like, oh my gosh, you're MatPat. You were my childhood. I loved watching your FNAF theories. And I'm always like, well, FNAF's still going. And they're like, what? No way. And we talk about the new game and it's always really fun. But the other half is, oh my gosh, you're MatPat. You are my childhood. I'm watching you right now. I loved your most recent theory. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's such an honor. I have been so honored to be a part of all of your lives. But I think it's time for someone else to have that honor. I think it's time for someone else to get to ruin some childhoods. And that just kind of leaves us with one final question, right? Which is, what about me? Where do I go? Do I just retire to a beach somewhere? Do I whip a nene off into the distance? No.
Yeah, do you go down to Florida and sip Mai Tais on the beach and just chill out, Probably. Hey, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm not judging or anything, but hey, Matt's got enough money. He could probably go anywhere in the U.S. and be fine. Seriously. Like, he can legit move out of wherever he is, go to another state, and still have plenty of money left over and be absolutely fine and be comfortable for the rest of his life. Like, he could literally retire. Like, legit, probably. He could, in my opinion, with everything that he's done, he could have retired probably like 5, 6, 7 years ago and still be fine. Easily. Maybe even 10 years ago. Let's push it that far. Maybe even 10 years ago, he could have retired and been fine.
I'll still be here. Obviously, first off, we've got our final 10 episodes, like I said. So that's, well, it wasn't 10 episodes. However many episodes are left between now and March 9th, we got those. I'm going to be on GT Live from now until the foreseeable future, probably until the end of the summer. That feels about right. And then we have the big going away video on March 9th. After that, I, stand aside as Santi, Lee, Amy, and Tom step up and take over the hosting role. But I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be alongside the creative directors talking about programming, brainstorming ideas for upcoming episodes. That's awesome. I love that. I don't want to give that up. But the other cool thing about this is that it opens up the door for me to turn the script. For the last 13 years, I've been commenting on other people's IP, but now that I'm stepping out of those roles, I get to create the IP. Still as a part of Theorist, but I get to create things.
That's awesome. Matt gets to create an intellectual property. That's cool.
That are going to challenge those new hosts of the channel. Things that I've had in the back of my mind from years of studying media that I can now make a reality, and the channels can comment on them. Things like, for instance, I have a lo-fi mystery series that I think you're really gonna dig. It's basically like if you took a lo-fi channel and applied an ARG narrative to it, it becomes lore-fi. I am so stoked about this. The music is sounding really good. The animations are coming together really well. That's gonna be launching in a couple weeks. We'll see if Lee over on Film Theory is gonna be able to solve it. In April, I'm actually gonna be coming back onto Style Theory to host a giant fashion show that we're doing there. We all collectively have this thought of like, hey, online brands, online influencers are coming up with their own apparel lines. Why is there no place to showcase that sort of stuff? And then it hit us like, hey, we have a style and fashion channel. Why aren't we doing it ourselves? Creators in Fashion by Style Theory, that is coming to you in April, hosted by me. Some of the time that I'm not hosting the channels, I'm gonna be practicing my runway walk. Because let me tell you, if I'm sashaying down the runway, if I'm stomping the runway, it's not going to be pretty right now. So I need to practice that a little bit. There's also this animation show that we did a pilot for in like the middle of last year. It's basically like if you took Gravity Falls but aged it up and made it about adulting. It's really, really solid. And also there's this video game idea that I want to do for like so long that I've never had the opportunity to really like dive into and make reality. But now it's my chance to step into the role of Scott Cawthon and challenge the new game theorist. There's always been the memes about are Scott Cawthon and I the same person? Not yet. But who knows?
No.
Maybe starting later this year. And those are just the immediate things that I have on my to-do list because I want to make fun, cool things for you. And even if it's not a weekly episode, I still want to give those things to you because I think you'll like them. You matter to me. You are so important to me. Every single one of those people who stop me on the street, it's an honor, right? It's interesting. Because of this whole transition, I've been thinking a lot about my time on these channels and the evolution that we've gone to together. In the beginning, right, I was kind of like the edgy older brother where I would talk about like, oh, did you know that Link is dead? And let's make some boob jokes. And then at a certain point, I evolved into Dad Pat, right? I became a little bit more mature. I had the team around me. I had to be more careful about who I was saying was dead on a regular basis. Instead of talking about boobs, I ended up talking about Luigi's bulge. That felt like the right decision. At this point, I think I'm kind of evolving into a grandpa Pat, for lack of a better term.
Fair enough.
And just like your grandparents, hopefully cool grandparents, but just like a grandparent, you don't get to see me all the time. And I don't get to see you all the time. And maybe we call and talk to each other every once in a while. But at the end of the day, that grandpa loves getting to see you. Maybe he shows up at a special event. Maybe he shows up at a holiday. Maybe he shows up at the Theory Wear fashion show. Who knows? But he so looks forward to seeing you. And the love that he has for you, it doesn't go away. That grandpa is so proud of you. And he cherishes the relationship that you've had so much. And he is so honored to be a part of your life, to have been a part of helping you grow and helping you experience the world.
Yeah.
And he looks forward to seeing you at the next event. And if you see him on the street, we'll hang out. And hopefully he brings you cool, fun gifts. I know this is going to sound cheesy. And I know the internet will probably rake me over the coals.
Who cares?
For crying, for one, but...
Nah, bro. Like, I don't believe in all that. Like, you shouldn't, just because you're on the internet doesn't mean you should be able to hide your feelings. Like, you can't keep all that stuff inside. It's going to come out at some point. Like, and I think a lot of people give Matt Pat hate where it's not warranted. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. You can agree with it. You can disagree with it. I don't really care. I'm just saying. I'm a very nonchalant person, and I speak my mind a lot what I want to because that's just who I am. I like to be real with you guys. But yeah, I feel where he's going here. Like, I think he just honestly gets a lot of hate that's just unwarranted. It's unnecessary. It's meaningless. It's pointless. It's just like, really? You're hating on someone just because you don't like them, or you don't like the way they look, you don't like the way they talk, or you don't like how they are, or you don't like how they speak their mind, you don't like their opinions, you don't like anything about them. It's like, why are you watching, bro? Why are you watching? Just unsubscribe. Go off into the abyss. I don't care. Just go. Like, there's no need to spread hate just for no reason.
I love you guys. I do.
Thumbs up.
You're not just numbers. You're not just ad impressions. You're not just merch sales. What you have done for me, and from everyone I talk to, what I've done for you, is special. It's special.
Right there. Right there. Right there. This is what I'm talking about. Right there. That is the best thing that he could have possibly said. Because I feel everyone has this impression about content creators. Like, sure, I understand it. I get it. Because I'm on that other side as well. I'm one of those types of people too. Like, I see certain things that content creators do, and I'm like, bro, you guys are just doing this for money. You guys are greedy. Like, there's no passion in it. There's no drive. There's no actual emotion. But right there is what the best thing that he could have said. And I believe that not all content creators are like that. I believe like there's a lot of people like me and so many others that honestly care about their fan bases. Like, they genuinely honestly care. And they don't see their fan bases as numbers. They see them as people. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all are. We all people. We're all connected in this internet ecoscape. We're all connected. And it's sad that a lot of people abuse that. They use that to its darkest intent. But Matt, he genuinely feels like this. He knows you guys, and that's crazy.
When I was in middle school, I had this goal of making the world a better place because I had been a part of it. It didn't have to be big. It didn't have to be curing cancer. But I wanted there to have been a ripple impact. Just because I was there. Butterfly effect and all that.
Fair enough. That's understandable. Totally.
We've done it.
Yeah.
I think we've been able to achieve something great here. You have taken me on the wildest, craziest 13-year ride of my life. And I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
So, Grandpa Pat is going to sign out now, and I'll be around for a couple more weeks. I'll be living around the house for a while. We'll have a big family reunion celebration.
Yeah.
Then I'll go off to my little shack in the woods, my retirement home down in Florida, and I'll pop in every once in a while. Anyway, at this point in my notes, I had it written that we're going to start a countdown clock of that like final 10 episodes, final 9 episodes. So start that. I don't know what it's going to look like yet. Hopefully the editors don't rip off Unis Honest too much. If they do, I hope they change it.
Yeah, that's better. I like that one. 9 theories.
And with that, I'm going to say, for one of the final times, not the final time, but one of the final times, as always, my friends, remember, it's just a theory. A game theory. Thank you. Thank you for watching.
Dang, and that's it. I could tell just by how his voice was, how I could tell the shakiness in his voice. It was really painful for him to say that. Physically, mentally, emotionally, like that was a painful last sentence. So there you have it, guys. That's what's going on with Matt, and that's what's happening with a lot of content creators. And I felt I was a lot more verbal in this episode than I usually am in most episodes, because there's just so much to talk about here. And it's important, and I believe it's important that we talk about these things. But yeah, that's it. That's all my thoughts, everything. If you guys want to watch the video for yourself, links will be down in the description below. Go subscribe to Matt Pat while he's still here. Go watch his final videos while he's still here, because the inevitable is happening. It's coming. And who knows if we can stop it. Well, that's the point I guess I'm trying to make, is that we can't stop it. All we can do is learn to grow and move on when things like this happen. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. So please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications when I upload new videos. Make sure to follow my social media links down in the description below to join the Ghoul Renegade. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.